Good evening, everyone. My name is Beth, and I am here on Monday, January 3rd with another super cool take and make program for you. So as I said, it's Monday, guys, which is not a shock, but it's January already, which just feels crazy to me. We went through that whole long and seemingly fast month all at the same time. December seems to be chock full of events and programs and plans and things to attend and do and see, and all that yucky Michigan weather. I love my home state, but I do not love the rain or the snow. So this is a tough time for me, a time of year for me, I should say. But all things aside, life is good. We're still taking and making, so let's get to it. Now, our Creative Spaces librarian, Jenny, took pity on us because you know I like shiny things. And I think that all that glitters is gold. And Jenny is an anti-glitter gal, but she must have been thinking about me maybe a little bit and about you if you're a shiny things lover too on occasion, because she gave us glitter ring holders to make, which is super cool because who doesn't have a couple cute little fun rings? And I don't know about you, but when I wash my hands, I don't like to have any moisture under my rings. So I usually will pop them off and, you know, set them in a little dish or on the side of the sink and hope I don't knock anything over. Or even at night, put lotion on my hands, same thing. I don't want to gunk up my ring, and I want to make sure I lotion my whole hand. So a little ring holder is exactly what I need, and hopefully you too. So I'm gonna unpack my kit here. The very important and ever-present instruction sheet is on the back of your bag label. So we're gonna keep this here because I know that sometimes I go rogue and don't pay attention to instructions very well, but I'm turning over a new leaf. I promise. We have this clear material here, plastic sheet, little cup to mix our stuff, some sandpaper, our plaster of Paris, glitter, and a little stir stick. And now remember, on the bag we have tape because we're gonna need this tape. So thanks, Jenny, for always including that. I love how she hides it right here on this bag for us. So the very first thing we need to do is figure out what size ring holder template we have. There's no right or wrong. It's up to your personal choice. I did the middle one, so that's what I'm gonna do today. And we're just gonna cut this guy out real quick. Look, you guys, I'm even doing it without my glasses. Are you impressed? You should be. I am. Oh my gosh. So here we go. Let's keep going. All right, just like so. Now, if you have a paper clip or something, might be kind of handy to clip it. And I am gonna use my glasses for this one. Here we go. Might be kind of handy to paper clip right to the edge so that you know exactly where you have to cut, and it will hold that on there for you. I didn't bring one here in the studio with me, so I'm gonna go rogue. I know, also shocking to you, but really it's not that picky of a thing. And the paper, as long as you have a tight hold on it on the top here, it's not going anywhere. So then I'm just gonna trim off this little edge. And get rid of that. Okay, so move all my scraps out of the way. So now I have it like this. I'm gonna tilt our camera down so we can look at what's going on down here. All the good stuff happens down here. Before I start to roll that into any certain shape, I'm gonna peel my tape off, and I always find it works best if I work an edge and hold my bag down pretty close to where I'm pulling the tape off. Otherwise, my bags tend to peel and stretch, and sometimes they'll even break, and the tape doesn't come with them. I'm gonna just stick this so you can see it. I just want a few of these pieces pulled up. Oh, and that one peeled a little crooked. That's okay. I can make that work for me. Get another little edge going. Okay, so I have 4 pieces of tape. I was gonna say 3 or 4, but I can count. Okay, then we're gonna take this like so, and I'm gonna fold it over. And I want to concentrate my fold initially at this short end. See the long end? I want to concentrate on the short end. I'm not necessarily going to crease on this side, but I'm almost going to crease it. I know, clear as mud, right? Because I want to take I'm trying to see how you can see. I'm going to do it from this side, but you can see because it's clear, I'm going right up and just a little bit over the edge of my plastic. See how my tape comes out? Because I'm gonna fold this over and I want it to seal tight on that side. And then you can just roll your other tape around. See, on this side, you can see it's sealed tight. So then I'm just gonna repeat this process all the way down this film, folding tight. And it's okay if at the top they don't match up 100% because you're not going to pour all the way to the top. I mean, I guess you could, but you don't really even need to. Okay, so now we have an edge. And we're going to crease the rest. We're gonna go like so on this side. So we're gonna form a bit of a triangle. And they don't have to be 100% even. I mean, you'll want it as even as you can get it. But the important part to this is going to be the top, because it'll sit like so once we have it all done. So I'm gonna look at this. I'm going to eyeball where I think the next crease should be. And I'm going to crease it all the way down. So when you look at it from this viewpoint, you can see my points here. And when you look at it from this, you can see the angles. And here's that little piece that creased just a tiny bit when I was taping, because I was pushing so hard on it, and that's okay because that's gonna smooth right out. Alrighty, so now the mix master part. So Jenny's instructions on here are, first and foremost, to remind us to keep this out of the hands of our little ones. This powder could be very detrimental if we were to breathe it in, so you gotta keep it away. It says don't breathe the dust. Removal of it after use will create dust. If you dry sand it, it'll get more dust. So be really careful when using this. You definitely don't want to fling this around or spill it. So it also says while you're dry sanding it, use an approved dust mask. I can't talk today. Dust mask. And to wash your hands. So even though I should be in a well-ventilated room, I'm in our studio, and although our ventilation is okay, I don't have a window. So I'm gonna take my little mask that I wear, and I'm just gonna slip it over my face just for an extra little bit of protection. Now, when you're mixing this, and I'm sorry for you people who want exact measurements. I'm like this when I bake too. I don't even have exact. I go, oh, about a cup or so of this or that. But you don't need a cup of anything for this. What you do need is 2 parts plaster of Paris to 1 part water. So I'm going to take my tablespoon measure and I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of my plaster of Paris. I'm gonna do 3. I'm eyeballing this to see how much I make. And the nice thing is, just like me, when you're unsure, you have all these templates. You can cut them out, have them all ready, mix up as much of it as you want, and then just go to town filling those molds, mixing up little bits. All right, so I started off with 4 tablespoons. So it's 2 parts plaster of Paris to 1 part water. So I need 2 tablespoons. So basically half the amount of water compared to my plaster of Paris. I'm gonna fold this back up, stick it back in my bag. And honestly, if I were baking and I had baking powder or powdered sugar, I would clap my hands, but I'm gonna try not to kick dust around in here. I'm going to very carefully brush this off down below my table to try and get my hands a little cleaner before we go to the water sports portion of our program. See if I can do this without spilling, you guys. Look at me. Okay, 2 tablespoons of water. And then we'll give it a mix. And sorry, I'm not doing very good at my vision here. Okay, see, it's mixing up quite nice. I was working on the bottom, tilted a little bit because I could tell some stuff was dry down there. I could tell just by the feel. But you can see it's chunking up a little bit. So that is the clumpy part that I needed to stir up. And you can tell it's not very thick. It's a little bit runny, but the more I stir at the bottom, it's actually starting to set a little tiny bit, like it's starting to thicken. I wouldn't say setting up, that's too strong of a word, but it's starting to thicken. Oh, but wait, there's more, the shiny stuff. Let's not forget our shiny. So these have a little notch on them, a little hard to find. See it there? And I'm just gonna give it a good tug. And just like that, the glitter games have begun. Now, when I made mine, I made one earlier to test run how to do it, and I used blue, and I only used half of it, and I was very disappointed at the shiny quotient, and that is my fault because I didn't use all of it. I am a bit go big or go home kind of gal, though. I mean, you guys know this about me, so this should not come as a shock to anyone that I didn't love, that it was semi-glittery but not totally glittery. And it doesn't really want to mix in well for me at first, but I just stick to it, stay going at it, and eventually it's starting to take shape here. I even like how sometimes, I don't know if I didn't mix it well, but I could see little bands of glitter more pronounced in some areas than others when I made my first one. So let me grab a few things over here, get myself situated. Okay, so now I'm going to take my little stir stick out, set this on top of my glitter container, and I'm just gonna pour it in here. See how it's thickening up? Kind of like pudding does almost. And so now, can you see that? All that glitter in there? Now I'm gonna set this in a cup. That looks actually similar to this cup. When I set it in there before, I just nested it in and I stuffed tissue around it, a paper towel to hold it straight. So let me set this off here to the side, because of course you know I don't have that with me now. I forgot to bring an extra cup here into the studio, but that's okay because I got it sitting up there. And And when you unmold it, all you do is peel that tape off, and this plastic sheet peels right off. It actually popped right off. It didn't adhere at all. And this is so nice and smooth. So I just took where I did have, you can see it's not totally perfect. I am not a fan of perfection. If you are, you can work on this, sand it down a little more. Keep your mask on though, because remember, see if I can show you how quick we can change the scope of this. I have to look at it though. But remember, anytime you have sanding going on, you're kicking up some dust, and this is not dust you want to breathe in. But let me show you how quickly, get that little spot, this will smooth out and you'll never know that that bump was there. Look how I was able to really shear that down. If I worked on it, I could probably get everything 100%, but I like the way it's smoothed out there. I see there's a little spot that sticks up here. Nice, isn't that cute? What a fun little thing. So let me see if I can get my rings off. So then, now when I sit down at night, sitting up in bed watching TV, I want to put some lotion on my hands, I can pop my rings right onto my little glitter ring holder. And of course my purple one will be full of glitter, so it'll really show. And I can get my hands the care they need, and my rings too, without having to run and get those cleaned because I got lotion and gook in them. Gook, yep, it's my official word. Whoops, let's turn this camera back up. I'm all done sanding, and now I can't see what I'm doing up here anymore, so I'll take those off as well. And that is a glitter ring holder. Isn't that a cute idea? Thanks, Jenny, for breaking your glitter rule. I appreciate it, and I'm sure all your friends do too. Make sure that you stop into the library either physically or get online and check out what we're doing in our creative space. Jenny's got open times available, and the number of things that there are to do is endless. You know, we all love those iron-on decals and the silhouette products and Cricut products you can make. We've got that here. She's got a glow forge. She's got all kinds of cool stuff, and some things you probably have never even heard of. I know every time I talk to her, I learn something new. So use your take and makes, make your take and makes, enjoy the process, work through the kinks. I had a rough spot with the one, I worked through it, but the main thing is just to have fun with it. So from Jenny and I to all of you, we hope you enjoyed this take and make program tonight and this new craft, and I can't wait to see you later this month for our next adventure. Bye guys.